For thousands of years, if you overslept, someone had to wake you up. Not your phone, not an alarm clock, an actual person. Imagine paying someone every morning to stand outside your window before sunrise and tap on the glass until you woke up. It sounds ridiculous today, but for entire cities during the Industrial Revolution, this was a real profession. And strangely enough, even after the alarm clock was invented, people still trusted a stranger with a stick more than a machine. So how did humanity go from hiring human alarm clocks to carrying one in our pockets every single day? Waking up on time seems like one of the most ordinary parts of life, but for most of history, it wasn't. The history of the alarm clock isn't really about clocks at all. It's about something much bigger: how humans slowly surrendered control of their daily rhythm to technology. Before alarm clocks, people woke up with the sun, the seasons, animals, or other people. Today, millions of us wake because a tiny computer decides it's time. That transformation took thousands of years, and it changed the way civilization works. Living by the sun. For most of human history, there was no need for an alarm clock. Agricultural societies lived according to daylight. When the sky brightened, work began. When darkness arrived, life slowed. Historical records and archaeological evidence show that daily schedules were deeply connected to nature rather than exact hours. Without electric lights, staying awake late simply wasn't practical. The morning wasn't announced by a ringtone. It arrived gradually. Birds started singing, roosters crowed, the air became colder just before sunrise. Smoke began rising from neighboring homes. People woke because the entire world around them was waking too. But cities slowly became more complicated. Markets opened at specific times. Religious ceremonies demanded precision. Governments needed coordination. Suddenly, around sunrise wasn't good enough anymore. Human civilization wanted something nature couldn't provide: accuracy. And that desire would eventually reshape time itself.
Water, bells, and brilliant engineering. More than 2,000 years ago, engineers were already trying to solve the problem. One remarkable invention came from ancient Greece. Using flowing water, inventors created clocks that could trigger sounds at predetermined moments. Historical writings describe devices that used water pressure to force air through whistles or ring small bells. Imagine hearing an eerie whistle echo through a quiet stone building long before mechanical clocks even existed. It wasn't designed to wake ordinary families. It was built for scholars, officials, and people whose work depended on measuring time. This wasn't an alarm clock sitting beside a bed. It was an engineering experiment proving that time itself could announce its arrival. Centuries later, monasteries became another revolution. Monks had to pray at fixed hours, even during the middle of the night. Large bells echoed across stone courtyards, calling entire communities into action. Ironically, one of humanity's earliest reliable alarm systems wasn't built for productivity. It was built for prayer. And here's the question: if bells already woke entire towns, why would anyone need a personal alarm clock? The answer arrives with factories.
When time became money. The Industrial Revolution completely changed the meaning of being late. Factories didn't care when the sun rose. They started when the whistle blew. Missing your shift could mean losing wages or losing your job entirely. Entire cities suddenly depended on thousands of workers arriving within minutes of one another. But personal alarm clocks were still expensive and unreliable. So Britain and Ireland developed one of history's strangest occupations: the knocker-up. Before dawn, professional wake-up callers walked silent streets carrying long sticks. Some tapped bedroom windows, others used pea shooters, some even carried small hammers. They didn't leave until they saw movement inside. Imagine trusting your livelihood to a stranger you've probably never invited into your home. It sounds absurd. Yet for decades, this was normal. The irony is unforgettable. Human civilization became so obsessed with punctuality that it invented an entirely new job just to wake sleeping people.
The alarm comes home. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, alarm clocks became cheaper, smaller, and more dependable. Mechanical springs improved, factories mass-produced clocks, middle-class households could finally own one. The little ticking machine moved onto bedside tables around the world. Its sound wasn't gentle, it was harsh, metal striking metal, a noise designed not to comfort, but to interrupt sleep as efficiently as possible. And eventually, the human alarm clock disappeared. Machines had taken another job once performed by people. Did alarm clocks really improve life? There's a common belief that alarm clocks simply made life more efficient. The reality is more complicated. Historians argue that alarm clocks became symbols of industrial discipline. Instead of following natural sleep patterns, millions of workers adjusted their bodies to factory schedules. In many ways, alarm clocks didn't adapt to humans. Humans adapted to alarm clocks. Sleep researchers today also point out that abrupt awakening can interrupt certain sleep stages, leaving people groggy even after a full night's rest. And then there's the snooze button. Ironically, one of the defining features of modern alarm clocks exists because humans almost immediately tried to ignore the very machines designed to control them. The history of the alarm clock is also the history of resisting it. Today, most people don't even own a dedicated alarm clock anymore. Our phones have quietly replaced it. But something interesting happened. The device that wakes us also delivers emails, news, messages, social media. Before our feet even touch the floor, the modern world has already entered the room. The simple bedside clock evolved into an entire digital ecosystem competing for our attention before breakfast. The alarm didn't disappear, it became invisible. Every morning, one small sound decides when millions of people begin their day. It feels completely ordinary. But hidden behind that familiar beep is a story stretching from ancient water-powered inventions to monastery bells, to strangers tapping bedroom windows in the cold before sunrise, to the smartphone beside your pillow. The alarm clock didn't just teach us how to wake up, it quietly changed our relationship with time itself. And maybe that's why the first thing most of us hear each morning isn't our own body. It's a machine telling us the day has begun. If you enjoy uncovering the hidden history behind everyday objects, the things we use without ever questioning where they came from, subscribe and join us for the next story. Because history isn't hiding in museums. Sometimes it's sitting quietly on your nightstand, waiting to ring.